It's the grand finale of the NFL season, live February 3rd on ESPN Sunday night.
Championship game. One more win and the Bills will shuffle off to Tampa to play in the Super Bowl 25. The Bills downing the Dolphins 44-34 out of Rich Stadium this afternoon to earn the right to host next weekend's title matchup. Now, before the game, we all wondered if Jim Kelly would get the nod at quarterback. We thought he would get it, and he did, and boy, did he look good. He was on the money all day, got the Bills on the board just a minute 54 in, 40 yards to Reed, 7-0 Bills. They never trailed. James Lofton had a huge day, 7 catches, 149 yards here, a 13-yard touchdown catch from Kelly. Bills up 27-10 mid-second quarter. 27-17 at the half. Dolphins wouldn't go away, however. They got to within 3 points when Marino hit Roy Foster on the tackle-eligible. Worst touchdown celebration of the year by Foster, but the Bills special teams came to the rescue again today to ice it, following Thurman Thomas's second touchdown run of the day, 37-27, when Hal Garner nailed Logan off the kickoff. Following Thomas's touchdown, Scott Norwood recovered. Just 2 plays later, Kelly went 26 yards to Reed. The final, Bills 44-34 over Miami. The Bills are now just 1 win away from the Super Bowl. Jim Kelly was the story, 339 yards passing, 3 touchdown passes. Looked mighty healthy to us.
The knee feels fine now.
Goes in for the touchdown, 37-27 Bills. Now on the ensuing kickoff, Scott Norwood sends it to Mark Logan. Here he is with the return, but he's going to get popped by Hal Gardner, fumbles, and Scott Norwood with a huge recovery for the Bills. That led to an Andre Reed TD as the Bills squished the fish again.
It was exciting.
44-34.
Chance for the big show, of course, this time comes at home next week, and today's once-and-for-all settlement with Miami was most encouraging, and especially the performance of number 12, who showed no ill effects from the layoff, such as a 40-yard touchdown strike to Andre Reed less than 2 minutes into the game. Reed splits the safeties right there, 7-0. He had 4 catches, 122 yards on the day. Big day for James Lofton as well, second possession. Now this is a veteran catch and a future Hall of Fame catch right here. We know we've heard that talk before, but just look at that. Hits it over the shoulder, makes sure he gets in bounds. 7 catches, 143 yards. That led to a Norwood field goal, made it 10-3. Nate Odoms with the pickoff right here of Dan Marino. Good day for the offenses, obviously, with 78 points. A little tough for the defenses, although Nate was in the right spot at the right time here. Another field goal there on that possession. Then later in the second quarter, on a long drive, Thurman Thomas capped it. 117-yard rushing day for him, 20-3. But nothing is safe with Marino on the field, and Mark Duper beat 3 would-be tacklers to go 63 yards and to cut the lead to 20-10 then in the second quarter. However, later, Lofton on the touchdown pass here gets around Lewis Oliver again, who had an awful day, 27-10, 13 yards here for Lofton. And the Bills once again are up by 17. Bart, maybe it is Tampa time. We'll find out next week. 4th down right here as time is running out in the first half, and Marino really does it here. 4-yard to the 4-yard line to Duper, and then the bootleg in for the touchdown. 27-17 at halftime, and the Dolphins were clearly back in it at this point, although Kelly had thrown for 222 yards at the half. Fourth quarter, after a couple of field goals in the third, Roy Foster, the big lineman, on a tackle-eligible play, and yeah, he's got the touchdown. He may never spike it again, so make this one good. 30-27, though, just 55 seconds into the quarter. However, a crucial drive and a crucial play here on 4th and 2 at the Miami 34. Keith McKellar hauled it in for the first down, and they capped it with Thurman going in from 6 yards out, 37-27. And to show you how quickly the momentum can change then, after that catch by McKellar and the Thomas touchdown on the ensuing kickoff, Mark Logan is crunched by Hal Garner. And Scott Norwood, the kicker, is there to jump on it for the recovery. Andre Reed, a few moments later, with a 26-yard touchdown reception, 44-27. Danny Boy and the Dolphins got a late one, but that was it, 44-34. The final. Bills take it, go to the AFC Championship. Still, though, from the Miami Dolphins, they can't seem to get any respect.
For just the second time in history, the Bills have advanced to the AFC Championship game, which will be played at Rich Stadium next Sunday. Today out at Rich, the Bills, under the direction of Jim Kelly, outscored the Dolphins 44-34 to move just 1 win away from the team's first ever Super Bowl berth. Now, Jim's knee, boy, he was hopping up and down early, stretching that baby out, and he looked super duper. Just a minute 54 into the game, Kelly goes 40 yards to a streaking Andre Reed. Bills up on top for good, 7-0. 7-3 Bills, mid-first quarter now, when Kelly goes down the right sideline to James Lofton. Watch number 80 stop. He stayed with it, pick up a 44. 4 plays later, Scott Norwood would come in, hit on a 24-yarder, the first of 3 field goals for Norwood on the day, 10-3 Bills. Jim Kelly was very mobile today. Here late first, a scramble even. The ball, however, stripped by E.J. Jr. Kent Hall, however, the big recovery, a gain of 16 yards. Several plays after that, Norwood would hit on a 22-yarder, 13-3 Bills after 1 quarter. Bills offense continued to thrive early second quarter. After a 43-yard gain by Reed, Thomas capped off a 67-yard drive with that 5-yard touchdown run. Bills up 20-3. But after a slow start, Dan Marino began to fire away in the second quarter. Marino to Duper, who should have been tackled by Odoms, who tried to strip the ball away to no avail. 64 yards, 20-10 ball game. We move late in the second. Kelly goes over the middle to James Lofton, who had a super day. 13-yard touchdown, 27-10 Bills. Bills defense was hot and stingy early on. Hit of the day, Leonard Smith nails Duper, super stick by Smith. Didn't seem to bother the Dolphins, however. Later in that series, after a Roby punt, Al Edwards fumbled. Dolphins back in we go. 27-20 following a Miami field goal. One of the few mistakes by Marino. He'd be picked off by Mark Kelso, who started for the first time since the Raiders game. Remember, Kelso fractured his ankle way back in October. Kelso's INT led to a 28-yard field goal by Norwood. Bills by 10, 30-20. Now the Dolphins stormed right back, though. Last play of the third quarter, Sammy Smith, an 11-yard tote. Got the ball down to the Bills 2. Smith 99 yards today. To the wild fourth quarter now. 3 plays after that Smith gainer. Dolphins go to the trick book. The old tackle eligible. Marino to number 61, Roy Foster. Worst end zone celebration in league history. But hey, Roy, congratulations. The man was happy. 30-27. Dolphins to within 3, but the Bills offense was unstoppable. Marv Levy went for a 4th and 2 from the Miami 34. It was successful. Kelly 5 yards from McKellar. First down. The drive was alive, and 6 plays later, Thomas cruised in from the 5. Bills up again by 10, 37-27. Now on the ensuing to cash that turnover in, Kelly's 3rd TD pass on the day goes to Reed, 26 yards, 44-27. Bills up for good at that point. The Dolphins would add a garbage TD late. The final, the Bills 44-34. They dogged the Dolphins, and the playoffs continue next week. It was the 2nd highest NFL playoff total in league history. The Bills are now just 1 win away from the Super Bowl. The offense was just superb today.
I guess a day for offense. Both teams.
Question raged on. Would Jim Kelly play?
Boy, 4 points. That's something you don't try to tell your defense, but Miami Dolphins have a lot of weapons just like we do, and we knew this was going to be a battle. This is one, when you write the playoff script, you want a game like this, an exciting game down to the last couple minutes, and that's exactly what you saw today.
19 of 29 for 339 yards and 3 touchdowns. What more needs to be said? Kelly had the hot hand, and the Dolphins did little to cool him down.
We just tried to mix big, deep balls on us.
On a 3rd and 6 play late in the first quarter, Kelly pulled it down and ran for the first down. Thanks to a Kent Hull recovery, the drive stayed alive. 80,000 fans were holding their breath on the play. But that was just the beginning. 4 more times Kelly bolted upfield, gaining 37 yards, averaging a solid 7 yards a carry.
I think I surprised myself, too. I wasn't really thinking about scrambling, but when the field conditions dictated I had to run the football, you have to do what you got to do.
Jim's favorite target was James Lofton. 7 times Lofton came down with the ball, good for 144 yards on the day. And several of those grabs were of the spectacular variety.
I bet if the Dolphins look at their touchdown, but I thought the field was in great shape, and it really wasn't that difficult to play on.
The Bills will put Air Buffalo in the hangar for a week, then rev up the engines again in the AFC Championship game against the Bengals or Raiders. I wonder if Bo Jackson can play defense. From Rich Stadium, Brian Blessing, News 4 Sports.
All right, as Brian said, Jimbo had a huge day, 339 yards, 3 touchdowns, just 1 interception. Thomas, 117 yards when Thurman picks up 100 yards. The Bills pretty much always win. James Lofton, 149 yards receiving, big day. Andre Reed chipped in with 122. Total offense was rolling all day, almost 500 yards. Defensively, Shane Conlon had, I think, his best and most solid day of the year. I think he's had an excellent season, despite some of the media reports. 11 tackles for Shane. Leonard Smith chipped in with 10. Cornelius with 6. But let's not kid ourselves. The early parts of the 3rd and 4th quarters were kind of scary for the Bills and all of us for that much. The Dolphins came out of the halftime break fired.
In the NFL, in his first full year starting for Buffalo, James Lofton hasn't lost much from the talents which have placed him 3rd on the all-time receiving yardage charts and 6th in career receptions. The 7-time Pro Bowler sort of chuckles at his rebirth as a big play receiver. He is averaging over 20 yards per catch, yet he clearly remembers when he was a 22-year-old rookie with the Packers, preparing to go against a veteran prolific offense to a Rolls-Royce, and says, as a role player, he's just like the air conditioning. Well, maybe so, but that's an accessory this car could not run without. In Buffalo, I'm Andrea Kramer.
You gave us a try, now hit subscribe. Be sure to YouTube responsibly and hit that like button if you like what you see, because there's plenty of content to come.